All right. Audio check time. Audio check time. Telegraph for the masked bear. Telegraphed for the masked bear. It's a Winnie the Pooh reference. Bro, I grew up on New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That shit was my childhood before Tom and Jerry, before Inuyasha, before Looney Tunes. That was like Thomas the Tank Engine levels of Quint old that. Remember New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh also held up really well, all things considered. Okay. Okay, hang on. Doot. And doot. And doot. And just gonna make sure everyone else is here. Probably send this to Ant as well, honestly. Doot. Now I gotta go grab the guide really quickly. Hang on. Ace Attorney, Investigations 2 Facts. Angel DB82. Get the screenshot over here. Perfect. I pull up the audio again. Man, here we are, fellas. Endgame to what might honestly be my favorite case in the franchise. Endgame to... No, hang on. Gallery. Pull up the guide, so it's right there. Okay. Just gonna make sure everyone's here first. Hang on. So just making sure everything's all set up here. Just gonna do a chat test too. Doot. Chat good. Yeppers. Okay, good. I'm not gonna do a warm-up this time. This time I'm just gonna go right into it, because for something this serious, I gotta keep the tone up. Also, let me put my guide over here. Let's do it. April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber.
10 members, over a majority, are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here in the sight of the goddess, we do so solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment.
Fair and frank? Don't make me laugh.
Verity, if you'd be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth.
On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of guilt, of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, 1K Faraday, is innocent of all charges.
Perhaps you could explain the detail of the murder to us as well.
Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by...
Me, Eustace Winner, Premier Prosecutor.
Wow, really rub it in, huh?
The floor is all yours, Mr. Winner.
The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. The same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. Ringer took part in that auction, I think, yeah.
Meaning the murder took place sometime during the auction.
When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer.
You deduced nothing of the sort.
And what about the basis on which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner?
Yeah, I got this. So, Faraday was overcome by...
Crushing remorse, Eustace.
Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed.
Mr. Dubs again. Don't worry. We just started. And I didn't do a warm-up because I need to save my voice for this.
According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it?
Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat.
And who won the race to find that raincoat nearby? Me! That's who!
Did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics.
Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigations. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winner's command.
I knew it! The blood analysis on the couch showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. And a suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. So as you can see, Kay Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it. All right, Miles. I expect you have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we?
I have no objections, Chairman Winner.
Well now, is that so? I thought it would have taken...
No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty!
I can personally attest the fact that Mr. Winner's investigation was fair and impartial.
Yeah, of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time. You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee. So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth?
If you think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on the incident is.
You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well, if it'll make you happy. Verity, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case.
Really? But, sir...
This will be his last hurrah. Let's humor him with the send-off he desires.
If you say so, Mr. Chairman.
unusually confident. Hey, I'm gonna get some water. 1 second. Back! Okay. Sorry about that. Quick audio check here again. Let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, good. Alright. Gotta do this first and afterwards it's script time. Oh, I know you're looking forward to this, buddy boy. No, just you wait, just you wait. You're gonna be in for a real surprise. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel amazing at the end of this case. Like I did.
You have no objections to Verity representing the committee, I assume?
None whatsoever.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. Alright, you bitch. Come on! The committee's view of the case.
Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of this case.
The raincoat was on and off of that night? Is that really true?
We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zhang Fa, I assume? The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case.
It's true! We were there. That was the raincoat that Mr. the Killer wore.
It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key at the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did, in fact, go missing under mysterious circumstances.
And wound up with the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose.
Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever.
You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat.
I'll do no such thing, thank you very much.
Very well. It's good to know you still have some fight in you.
It is. Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly are you up to? Let's go. Okay. Present Miss Hart's picture on the 5th statement. 1, 2, 3, 4... I can't text skip this. I just gotta wait for it. 5 on the 5th statement. Okay. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. Why is there blood on her hand even though it's before she got up on the viewing platform?
Objection!
Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Gavel. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing?
She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious.
Well, now, it ain't really an eyewitness, more than an ear witness, I guess.
She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she?
I like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart.
Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it?
According to your theory, the murder occurred... blah. According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture!
Wait! You're saying Gavel got it?
Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying.
What?
Miss Hart, if I may confirm you... Blah. I need to slow down. I keep fucking it up. I'm too excited because this is endgame right here. Excuse me. Oh my God, Eustace. My sentiments exactly. Wait, no, I gotta get the microphone, even though I'm not using it, just for the debate. My sentiments exactly. Okay. Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. Matt! Did Freeman pay you to say that? Did Freeman pay you to say that? Did Freeman bribe you? What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? It's too early for me to throw out my voice laughing. You saw the person in the picture, correct?
I sure did, clear as day, and with my own 2 eyes to boot.
And what were your impressions at that point?
My impressions are, this right here is the scoop of the century, something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was hoping more of your impressions of the person in question.
Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket? Seriously? Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sign your lunch.
The glazing is yuck. Oh, believe me. You're gonna see why you're gonna see why by the end of this case.
Old red raincoat, right?
Blah.
Old red raincoat, right? Why, I took one look and I thought, that's our perp right there.
And therein lies the rub. For Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that... Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? It's an explanation of facts that you require, then you only need to ask, you know. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated.
Objection!
Unrelated? You can do better than that! Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's?
You're kidding me, right? Them folks is talking crime-related turkey, or my name ain't Lotta Danged Hart.
Ah, but did you hear them clearly?
Well, can't rightly say for sure, but... Gah! I can't rightly say nothing and you know it. They was using voice changers. I done told y'all that.
Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did overhear had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
Heh. You don't need to yell objection or decide at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel.
Nonsense. Verity's the best of us, my boy. The very best.
And yet she believes that Miss Hothead might not have had anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves the incident happened before the victim went up to the roof. The blood. Why would they have blood on their hand beforehand, Verity?
Take that!
Think you overlooked that? We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood she saw on this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they were attacked by the victim. Oh wait. Ergo, this person is the killer. Then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. Fuck, I'm reading wrong. More so with brains that big in both of them. They're blinder than bats, missing the four. Yep. But knowing what we know now, this person is in fact the victim. It recontextualizes everything. The presence of blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. The picture tells us that the victim survived the attack. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloodied hand. This could only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wound she had sustained.
What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound?
The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Winner. I imagine she'd already used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here.
Oh, well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it?
It very much would, not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken, after the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, that, or pretending to not remember it.
What? What fact am I forgetting?
I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery. Dad! Deval works for me! Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job! You really are a total and utter embarrassment. I'm not!
I hate to break it to you, but you both are.
Down to it, Deval! Put Edgeworth out
of his misery. As you wish. Alright, come on! What we're forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune.
Nicely done, Deval! Now Edgeworth will have to
make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will.
What? Why? Were you listening?
Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections.
Come on! Why do you always have to undermine me?
That's never my intention, I assure you.
It isn't?
Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already.
Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that because I'm...
Please, Eustace. Just stop, for goodness sake. You've already embarrassed me enough.
Huh? What do you mean, Dad?
Man. Ugh, this is gonna be a rugged one, folks. Alright! Next, we present the red raincoat on the 3rd statement. You're nobody's boy, not even daddy's boy. Ah! Yeah, that's useless for you. However, I'll say right now, I kind of, look, stupid as he is, I do kind of feel bad for him. I mean, bro, let's look at this kid. Let's look at him. This kid is 17. And his father is quite literally this 60. Whoa! This geezer is old!
Nearly go running on 70? Jeez. So yeah, it's kind of like with Eustace. Like, yeah, he's an idiot. You know who Eustace reminds me of? He reminds me of Motoyasu from Shooter. Yeah, people don't know gray hair sus. I'm old. I'm on, Sonny. Let's get to this fellow. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, but like, when you really stop to think about him, Eustace is a lot like Motoyasu. Yeah, he's an idiot, but like, for once, I really feel like that's the fault of the parent more than he himself. Doesn't make him right, mind you, doesn't make him a winner, but I do feel a little bad for him because we've seen how much worse his father is. It makes sense. Anyways. However, there's a problem though. Let's look at the raincoat. Where are the stab wounds on it? Yeah, look, where are the stab wounds? Where are they?
Objection!
Chairman Winner, you know what this is, of course.
The red raincoat. That's right, isn't it, Verity?
Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading old ground here. Miss Ringer was wearing.
Sorry, checking audio.
Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you answer me this, Judge Gavel. You told us the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course, they were found on the hood and... No.
What's the matter, Verity?
The hood and... Was blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it wasn't. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of a stab wound to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you're correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringer cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we concede this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence? Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction the order the injuries revealed? Well, the autopsy report would have to, because it said it was post-mortem. Yeah. Why did the coroner's report say that? Where is it?
Take that!
There it is. This is Dr. Hurt's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, the court hereby summons Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once.
Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she will be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there is another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something's been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they?
Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh?
Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved in the case that I can name. I suspect, at the very least, they might be able to point us in the right direction.
And that's...
Chairman Winner, I demand that you testify as to what you know.
What? Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad?
You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. And about a man who seems dead set on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, the corsage, ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed on her possession somehow. By Chairman Winner himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask. Why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winner, your rebuttal, please. I think the good chairman might be in shock.
So what if I did? Did you hear me, dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where's your proof? With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on?
He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I'm going to have to ask you to explain yourself. If that's all right, Mr. Chairman.
Not at all. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself.
He has a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, audio check. Excuse me. Yeah, audio check. Okay, good. Very well. Let's start at the very beginning. The fact the auction took place right here in this hallowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should, by rights, only be accessible to members of the committee.
Yeah, they all have keycards to the room after all.
Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible,
there can only be one winning explanation.
That's right, Mr. Winner. That the auctioneer is a member of the committee.
What? No!
What on earth is wrong with him now?
What do I do, Dad? I played right into his hands!
You did indeed, you utter nitwit. But Miles, my boy, you do realize that you've cast quite a wide net with your explanation. That's true. There are only 11 members of the committee altogether. 10, given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. Well, it certainly wasn't me! And it can't be the chairman, can it? You might have actually helped. Unironically. With your utter stupidity!
Whoever it is, speak up right now!
Come. Calm down, all of you, please. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you've got against me?
You're very quiet all of a sudden. But it's too late to back out now. You accused the former chief prosecutor and current committee chairman of a crime. I would tell you to prepare for the worst. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face.
Know your place. Even the names of his testimonies are arrogant. Ah, shit.
You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice! And there you have it. Feel free to pick holes in it as you see fit.
How can I when that's barely a testimony to begin with?
That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, just let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it.
You saw a flash of something, half remembered, Kay. Nothing more. If you must believe in something... believe me when I say, you should believe in your own innocence instead.
But...
I'm up against the chairman's committee head here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. Let me get a water break here really quickly. Okay. Back keys again. I'm about to take more frequent water breaks to recharge my voice because voicing Excelsius is really taking it out of me. I'm about to take more frequent... But that's okay. Okay, so what we do here is we press the fourth statement. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, shit, I better make sure there's no chat messages that happened while I was away. No, okay, never mind. Okay, just double checking. Ezra's doesn't. Wait, the message popped up twice? What? Doot. If possible, having a group helps to dump the workload. Ugh. Ah! No, I dropped my remote! No! Okay, hang on. Okay, we're back. Hold it! Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken at least with a grain of salt.
Objection.
Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I'll tell you what. Why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again.
Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit.
Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position.
I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her.
You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know. But fine. Ask away, on one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. We'll call the proceedings to an end, then and there. Agreed?
Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing?
Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete muddlehead after all. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again, and all that happens is the girl confirms her guilt, she's officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan, if I do say so myself. That's it? You just declare her guilty just like that? That's the gist of it. It's a big risk, but it's going to find a way to condemn it either way if we don't do something. Kay!
Yes? I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence? Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to try and remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kay you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust.
Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. You would never commit murder. You could never. Because this is who you really are! You are the great thief Yadagarasu, a noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. Because all I can see is the one memory that's returned. I have to face it.
Hold it!
No! The only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you?
No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you.
So that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the K I know would have done.
You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me.
What's wrong? Did you remember something?
Oh, it'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did.
A cow.
A cow?
Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please perhaps ask her for a few more details.
Well, Kay, what can you tell us about this cow?
I remember now. The purse in the red raincoat. She had it in her hand. A stuffed cow. I can see it clearly now. Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statements as new testimony.
Objection.
Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this.
With all due respect, Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possessions is
New and highly relevant evidence.
Objection.
Need I remind you of the addled state of her memory? No, this simply won't do.
addled. But if we claim her memory's unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said yourself only a few minutes ago that thanks to the suspect's confessions, we need not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Were we to call the Were we to call the validity of our memories into question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Proceed as you see fit, then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Gavel's intervention? It's almost as if she was on our side, even if only for a second.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal?
I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. Sorry, audio check here. Okay, good. We found it in the storeroom and yet... we found it in the storeroom and believe it is yet another auction lot.
Wait, that's...
Huh? Do you know something, Gavel?
No, it's just not what I imagined.
I suppose it is a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully.
The left horn is missing.
This hole. It looks like that's where the horn would have gone.
But there doesn't look like stuffing in there. So, what is it?
Let's take a look at the rest of this toy and see what else we can find. Hang on. We examine... and then the other horn. Yes, we do 1, 2. The right horn seems to be intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of this stuffed toy.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, it moves.
It does?
It sounds like sand being crushed?
It would seem there's a recording device hidden inside.
I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge! Ah!
Could this be the moment of the murder?
And someone made a recording of it.
Oh! 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 Okay.
Hey, that's them right there. Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs.
Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder, if only there was some accompanying video footage.
You got bugs in yours or some lady? I done told you. Them's the voices I heard. And we already know the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she's got.
Yes, it's a possibility, but a weak one, without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible.
We need? Yet again, she seems to be stepping in help. Judge Gavel, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to and how it's all related. Which piece of evidence proves the voices are from when the murder occurred? The burn! So we present the coroner's finding. Again, Hart's word doesn't matter, but Kay's I know! They're so corrupt, dude! So corrupt! Ah! Ezra said it best in the last episode. This is the justice you and the committee stand for?
Take that!
The coroner's preliminary findings? How do they prove anything?
Indeed. What on this page shows the voices must be from the time of the murder. Burn mark.
Take that!
Think again on the words we heard. Again, the push to try and close this. The justice bleeds black if you can even crack it open. We're on to something, fellas. We're on to something. Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand. And what of it? According to Kay's testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark identifying... And a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim was mentioned on the recording it captured.
Ha! It's just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens all the time. Right?
I'm not so sure that it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder.
In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the conversation, it seems likely that it's the ones we hear the most.
But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even if they're male or female.
Due to the voice changes, correct? Unfortunate, but avoidable. Due to the voice changes, correct. Unfortunate, but unavoidable.
One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer.
Just like I done told you they was.
We can say something else now, too.
Then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Do as you wish. According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterwards, and the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does this latest revelation tell us? The ringleader was the killer. Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim.
Hey, Gavel?
Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy.
And if they weren't the victim, then they could only have been the killer.
A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I am fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest the ringleader was the killer. Then please, hurry and show us. What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer? Then we present the committee chamber blood.
Take that!
Excuse me. The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the Goddess of Justice statue. It was due to that blood we originally thought the murder happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse, designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom, in order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up the blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know the murder's ringleader has some connection to the committee.
Yes, yes. And you suspect me, correct?
As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection!
You're a fine prosecutor. That much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share after all.
Do I have any evidence to show that Chairman Winner is the murderer?
No.
It was Chairman Winner himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seemed confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing!
Oh! Well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Verity, he's all yours.
Wait, dang it! I just remembered something.
Huh? Did you have amnesia too?
No, it just came to me. A flash of inspiration, you know how it is.
Very well. Say your piece.
Objection!
What are you doing, Verity?
Mr. Edgeworth has made it clear he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must, lest he try and drag us through this excruciating process again in the future.
Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool.
Eustace, just shut up!
Oh my god! Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Githel bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are.
Fine. Let's see what the witness has to say.
You heard the chairman, Miss Hart, if you would be so kind.
Dog! Oh no! Now you're pulling the Satsukiko! Man! Poor Tsubasa, man.
You heard the chairman, Miss Hart, if you would be so kind.
Well, alright then. Here goes nothing.
The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please.
Hey, don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my middle name.
Color me officially worried.
So the ringleader's the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down that hatch, see? Then the murder happened, then the auction started back up again. Now, I had me look back downstairs right after that. No! And wouldn't you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. How? And you're sure of this, Miss Hart? Sure as sure can be, your gavelship. Saw 'em with my own two peepers.
So, 11 before the murder and 11 again right after means... Wait, that's a thingy!
A contradiction, Eustace. Do try to keep up. Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all?
I done told you already. They carried right on again like nothing even happened. Oh, except for, well, it wasn't nothing much, but...
What is it?
That little mallet doodad. Can't have yourself an auction without one. Kind of like the one Missy over there.
Missy? No! Sis is based! Sis is based! More based than Gabelle.
Kind of like the one Missy over there's got, but different. The auctioneer's hammer. That's the bunny!
Funny, because Missy actually does have a rabbit costume, courtesy of Ivy, aka Faye, aka the Gremlin.
I done heard that thing banging and clanging right way through. Then, nothing. Just like that.
So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through.
Could have something to do with the very dumb mention that. Yeah, just literally, which means either Rosie didn't attend the auction or that someone else was murdered entirely. Or the mallet was hidden.
So the noise of the hammer midway through could have something to do with the murder.
If what Miss Hart has said is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth.
Shock one up for justice! Eat that, Edgeworth!
See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do.
No! There must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't, chaos. All right, kids. Do we finally all have our answers now? If so, then I expect you to make good on...
One moment, sir. I worry it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? I expected you to have raised your voice by now. A loud, hold it, perhaps?
Yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat. Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter that still remains?
Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir.
I'm back with the witnesses, Your Honor.
What's this all about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have a compress ready. Ow!
This is a bear trap waiting to snap shots. It's like the alligator toy. Chop. No, it's like a chain chop. Just chain. Okay, hang on. Water break. Okay, back. Time to check the audio track. Okay, back. Time to check the audio track.
Yep. Excuse me.
Now this better be good. Did somebody else drop dead? Well, they might wish they wish they had.
Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long.
Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya?
Ha ha ha. Of course, we summoned you here to confirm something.
What is Judge Gavelle up to?
Dr. Hertz, this court asks you to provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy?
Grammy doesn't make any mistakes, ever!
That's strange.
Huh? What do you mean?
In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so, I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings?
That's awful! How can you even say that?
What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that?
To help the true culprit, of course.
As if I knew anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort.
Then, that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say.
Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately and handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes.
Wait. For the record, I didn't do anything for the report.
I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story.
Why do we even need to? This is pointless.
I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much.
We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But Graham, ow! We really don't have time for this.
Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is.
Grammy says she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer.
And yet you had no qualms about taking your time buying cotton candy last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. Let's go. The so-called mistake in the report.
No way there's a mistake in Grammy's report. Not never.
I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is as likely as ow! And what the heck do you think I stand to gain by doctoring a file, Don't make a lick of sense.
And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
See? It's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings.
And you swear by the Holy Goddess that this testimony is true?
Of course! Graham has never told a lie in her...
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you.
Not necessary? That's not fair! I'm the only heir like poor Grammy has!
Go ahead and show objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor.
My voice is cracking. I cannot do an old man voice. This is everything that came from Dr. File. Exactly. Oh, I'm more than prepared. Everything to lose. Now you're thinking, Matt! Now you're thinking! Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report. You're thinking, Matt. You're thinking.
Third statement. It's true. How could they have been so prepared? Think about it. Think about it. Nothing about the body makes sense. Everything doesn't make sense, dude. The body, like, seriously, if there's anything that's been so suspicious in this case, it's been the body. It's been moved. It's had, you know, the head injury, the hand injury, the injury there, the dressing of it. The body has been the most suspicious thing in this case. Why?
Hold it!
The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury. And yet, there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have hit her head in before she was stabbed to death in the chest, making it pre-mortem.
Oh, that's... Ow! I don't need to teach you how to suck eggs, young man. My tag report always says what you just said, don't it?
Objection!
Your report states the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I just said.
Ow!
Oh, sure.
I diligently dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it down just like I said it. If something happened after that, where nothing to do with me.
You dictated it. If you could please tell me more. Then, let's see here. On the revised third statement.
Objection!
Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself.
Oh, already to... Ow! Ow! This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all.
What? What? What do you mean exactly? Yeah. Oh, it makes so much sense now.
Ow! I don't know. Ow! But I can't say that. Ow!
Miss Needler, if you're attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice.
Yeah, see, now it makes sense! Now it makes sense! This is why the body seems so suspicious!
Because...
Yeah! Okay. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Cavell something in private.
What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you've just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence, just like I told you I did. The photo-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow!
I can't do an old lady voice as gritty.
Wow, that was a great impression.
Yes, but was it really necessary? So, in summary, there is an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler!
The true facts have now been shown that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error?
Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a wee little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem, they're practically the same word, don't you think?
Except they mean Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it.
But why would she want to change it?
Thanks, ow! You won't get away that easily. Explain yourself, young lady. But Grammy,
You submitted a falsified report, an act that led Kay to being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation.
I can't. I can't tell you.
Not don't want to, but can't.
This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake. So why not leave it there?
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you.
See, it makes so much sense! You guys are fuming right now! What on earth do you mean, my boy? You guys are Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to need to explain yourself better than that.
I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's a co-conspirator, an accomplice! This crime couldn't have been done alone! Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice.
Ow!
Oh, so she's a co-conspirator? This innocent young thing? Do share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy.
The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to... maintain attendee numbers! Excuse me. If the auctioneer was the murderer and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees, as if you could judge based on her looks and person. The fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees, even after the murder, doesn't make sense.
Hey, watch it! You all gotta call my good word into the question now, too!
That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator.
I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong.
I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would have indeed been 11 attendees both before and after the murder!
Well. So that's what you're thinking, isn't it? Certainly an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away.
I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction?
I would have just something like...
Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they?
I can't tell you! I just can't! It hurt Grammy too! Ow! But Grammy!
Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything, child.
But... Grammy!
So I was right. She was an accomplice.
Miss Needler, why?
Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself?
Yes, huh? Thank you, Grammy, but I'm all right now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer.
So you admit you were working with the ringleader?
Yeah, I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them.
The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim?
They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. So I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Now hold right on there, Missy. I didn't see none and my eyes don't lie. If you'd been there before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering that report only a few minutes ago.
I think we're all aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom.
Are we? Where exactly trying to say our friend the nurse was hiding,
Nurse Needler hid here when she was waiting in the storeroom.
Take that!
She hid inside this clothes box.
Oh, she did she?
Huh? Well, it was there the whole time, even before I moseyed in on in. But like I done told y'all, had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight. So I had to go elsewhere.
I imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived.
That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb it and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. Then they wrapped a whole box up in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start.
So, as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom.
Yeah, I think so.
The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That's when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around them.
You betcha, I was behind that statue there, shaking like a dang leaf the whole time.
In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role was now to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler?
Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Hold up, so you just waltzed right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You tell me not one of them other folks down there at the auction conned on?
Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because she'd stole the victim's clothes. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser.
No, and they weren't. I bought Miss Ringer's clothes and ow!
And left the poor child in her smalls? Have you no respect, girl?
No, Grammy, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put the raincoat on her.
But everyone in the auction could be... I mean, bro, it's an illegal auction. Illegal. Selling evidence. So, yeah. Excuse me. So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before.
Guess the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spotted me 11 happy little auction goers. Then back I snuck into my little hidey hole.
Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that.
Well, that is... not exactly.
What is it? Did something happen?
So, maybe I ought to mention this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say.
What? What happened?
Oh, nothing much. Kind of silly, really, but, there was a sudden loud noise, and it startled me, so, you know. All right, maybe more than a little. But I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. I guess that got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day, and there y'all were clanking down that ladder.
I see. So you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that.
Not per se, but, well, after the auction was over, all the masks were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they were supposed to.
Nurse Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing?
I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box as I'd been instructed. It had a dead body inside after all. Imagine somebody else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then.
Meaning she could have been found.
Yeah. See, you guys are thinking. See, this is why I love these games, dude. They make you think. So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime?
No, not until we came back up, so I could pay for it. But that was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead.
Kay.
Yeah, she must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh?
That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor.
Yeah, I suppose so. Can't believe something like that done knock me out for so long, though.
So, in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to the point now, Nurse Needler, if you would continue.
Sure. So I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo.
Was that your idea or the ringleader's?
Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done.
Heh. I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case.
And lastly, the ringleader and I put on an auctioneer's outfit we prepared.
Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer.
All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything. And that was that.
Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately.
I wish I could tell more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was buying Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so... Ow!
You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you?
That's where you draw the line? So taking her clothes was okay?
Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact.
There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box.
2 wigs? But why?
Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her style. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on that day. Leaving the wavy wig in the box.
Okay, water break, 1 second. Back again! Okay, audio check. Audio check. Okay, audio check. Good.
And that's everything you know. There's nothing else you're forgetting.
No, huh? No, really, Grammy, that's everything.
And I take it you really have no idea who the ringleader might be?
Sorry, I only know they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone.
If I can't get something concrete on them! Oh! Well, Miles, are we about done? You've proven the nerfs is part of the murder plot, but sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Because it does nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. Come on! Come on, dude! And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Franny! Oh my god! Of all the times! Of all the times! Francisca, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a viable piece of information. Detective Gumshoe did that? Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was first on the injury she suffered, not the second. Well, someone say something! Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already proved that ourselves. You what? Yes, just a few... Ow! Well, why didn't you say so sooner? You didn't exactly give us a chance! And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too? No, not yet. Ha! Good. Then listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. A circular surface!
Objection!
And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board? Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection!
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction. and this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties, especially the victim.
My, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear?
Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head.
Sorry, what were you saying? The horn. That's why it's missing. Not quite, Astral.
Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. Heh, based on the shape, I might have an idea or two.
But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation.
Oh my god, you've been so quiet, I actually forgot you were here. Do that more, loser!
And yet, one need only think about setting... One only needs to think about the setting and the auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used in an auction. We're obviously talking about the auctioneer's hammer. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course.
But we never found one of those.
If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that.
Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here.
This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon.
Miss Hart's statement. Because think about it, she said, the pounding stopped.
Take that!
Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder had occurred. She said the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right? Chairman winner? I'll have our people look into this right away.
You really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you,
He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess.
Okay, guys, the final part! Endgame! Let's go! Endgame. The final battle begins, baby! Astral, Matt, Peyton, you all here? You better be ready for this. Also, obligatory water. Headphones.
Audio check.
Water. Yep. All right, here we go. Endgame. Oh man, you better be ready for this, fellas. April 6th, Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, Chamber.
Silence in the courtroom, please. Miss Von Karma, if you'd be so kind as to update us on the progress of the search. It's not good news, I'm afraid. The entire big building has been searched from top to bottom, and no auctioneer's hammer was found anywhere. That is bad news indeed. Then, we have no choice but to move ahead with the verdict.
Ah, such a terrible shame. But I suppose only a fool would have left the murder weapon behind. It's certainly not what I'd expect from a first-rate criminal mind.
No! There's just not enough to work with here! I can't carry us on any further on my own!
Yes, it really is a tragedy, but such is life, I suppose. I was just thinking back over the defendants I've made plea deals with over these years. People who poured their hearts out to me, who trusted me with every detail of their crimes. And then when it came to the sentencing, I recommended life in prison every single time. For every single one. Oh, if only you could see them. The stupid, dumbfounded looks on their faces.
The verdict will now be passed. All present will accept the goddess's word as law.
There's nothing more I can do! Kay and I were... If only we had some proof!
I never imagined I'd be passing judgment on you under such circumstances.
The end of the road, huh? By the power vested in me, Excelsius winner, this court hereby indicts you for your crimes! What? What? Huh? What on earth's gone into you, Verity?
I submit for the court's consideration the case file of a certain incident. Namely, the IS-7 incident, a murder that took place 18 years ago.
But what does that file have to do with... Wait, you mean... Your late-night visit to this chamber, that was to...
Precisely. I came here to retrieve these documents. Though sadly, it would seem I arrived too early to catch the auction itself. When we spoke on the matter before, I implied I came to retrieve files pertaining to your own case. You'll have to forgive me. That was a ruse to buy myself more time.
Verity, no way, dude. No way!
What the heck are you doing, Gavel? You can't just accuse my dad! Without proper grounds, it's defamation!
An excellent observation, Eustace.
It is?
And of course, I have grounds to make
Such an accusation. She was on our side this whole time. Our guiding moonlight, baby! Who would have seen that one coming?
And of course, I have the grounds to make such an accusation. 18 years ago, Mr. Manfred von Karma had some details about the victim's body fabricated.
Details he was forced to fabricate when the sculptor Artie Frost's body was missing.
My papa? Fabricating information? What is the meaning of this? Ian Sideman, the detective originally assigned to the case, did in fact report the body had gone missing. However, it seems that a certain someone wasn't very pleased with Mr. Von Karma and deliberately withheld that information in order to bring him down a few pegs.
What?
This individual refused to allow anyone to go against their wishes or challenge their power, and they're known to go to extreme lengths in order to bring those who defy them to heel. 18 years ago, they were no different. In fact, they even ordered Dr. Hertz to create a fake autopsy report for the IS-7 incident.
What? She was responsible for the fake report?
Wait, you have to understand, Grammy, she's not a bad person. She had to do what she said. She didn't have any choice.
He? The person in question was the chief prosecutor at the time.
The chief prosecutor 18 years ago? No!
The man who gave Papa the first penalty of his career? It's him! Excelsius winner, it was you!
Objection!
But what are you talking about? My dad would never do something like that!
Overruled.
I'm sorry, Eustace, but your opinion on the matter is not needed here. Well, Chairman Winner, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All that nonsense with the body, that was Manfred's doing. Such a willful boy. And the fake autopsy report? Hilda, how could you? I can't believe you naughty kids would do such dishonest things behind my back.
Hold it!
Yep, it all comes full circle, baby. We could just ask her why she did it. She is standing right over there, after all.
Wait, Grammy can't. She's ow. Grammy, I'm sorry. I knew. That's why I. Right, exactly. If I didn't, everybody would have found out about what you did. They said he was going to charge you if I didn't help them with their plan. They said he would. That he would. I just had to do what the auctioneer said.
Ugh. So, you were coerced into it, were you, Nurse Needler? And just to be clear, the auctioneer was Chairman Winner.
I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. The person forcing me to help them was the auctioneer. And they definitely looked to be about the same build as the chairman, but I never saw their face.
Well, there must be something, any detail, no matter how small, will do.
Oh, wait! The mask didn't cover their whole face. And the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that much for sure.
Oh, again, he's just smiling there. He has no remorse. And again, this guy was the chief prosecutor who gave Von Karma the penalty during the IS-7 incident, which kicked off the DL-6 incident, which resulted in Gregory Edgeworth's death, which made Edgeworth go over to Manfred. Manfred got accused. It all comes full circle. A tattoo?
Objection!
This all sounds very dramatic, but I really don't know what you're talking about. There's no tattoo anywhere on my face. I think I know if it was there. Wouldn't you? Which means I can't be the ringleader, no matter how much you might want me to be. I only hope you can figure out who the shameless manipulator might be.
Your contempt for this courtroom is an insult to the goddess. Are you sure it's not you who's feeling insulted here? I'm not the only one who's been trying to bring you to justice. Miss Ringer had been trying too. And I refuse to let her sacrifice be in vain.
Young Rosie was looking to take me down, you say? But why? I barely knew her. I've always had a certain magnetic charm, but I don't remember ever catching that particular eye.
You barely knew the victim? Why, I do believe that is a new statement. The goddess demands that you offer your full testimony on the record.
So, that's how this is going to go, hmm? You mean to hound me until I finally break? Well, if that's the way you want to play it, fine. I'll destroy you all. Every last one of you.
Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to work with you on this one. I doubt we'll get another chance to put him on the stand. So let's make the most of this opportunity. Of course, Your Honor. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, Chairman Winner, you will tell this court everything you know about Miss Ringer. Everything I know about Miss Ringer.
Let's go! One last push!
Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. But we never really had any personal interactions. At least none that I remember. I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me.
Oh, he's nowhere near as confident as he was before. So you don't mean to accept your part in any of this?
Of course he doesn't. He isn't guilty. How could he be? He's my dad, the winner of winners.
That's very kind of you, Eustace, but you need more than mere words if you plan to cover for me.
Right, you got it. I won't let them pin this on you. I believe in you, Dad. You'll beat Edgeworth. I know you will.
Yes. You really are such a sweet, simple child.
He really loves his dad, huh?
But that's no excuse for him to ignore his father's crimes. No matter how much he respects him.
Regardless of their station in life, all criminals will be made to atone for their sins in time.
This won't be easy on Mr. Winner. But it has to be done. We can't let his father get away with this. Everything I know about Miss Ringer. Let's go! The second statement we press.
Hold it!
So you're saying you barely knew the victim at all?
That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy. Yes. Why, I never even knew about the burn mark on her hand.
You didn't?
I mean, what's the point? You get to know someone before you know it, they're gone. It's become such a pain to remember things about others. They're here one day and gone the next.
Yes, because they dare stand up to you, and you make them disappear. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winner.
Hold it!
You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark?
You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar in their hand and who doesn't.
But this wasn't just an old scar. I'd say it's a pretty noticeable... This wasn't just any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact.
Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, Miss Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself.
The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves.
It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things. I can only sympathize, being something of a sensitive soul myself.
I hope you're not too sensitive to append that statement to your testimony. Okay. Now, present the broken plushie on the reinforcing it. Or not. Wait.
Objection!
So, Miss Ringer always wore gloves. If she did, that raises a rather important question and highlights quite a contradiction.
A contradiction, you say? Really now?
If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by the stuffed cow, you'll soon see what I mean. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. You can't hide. Sorry, doing an audio check there and getting a quick voice breather.
Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day,
And now, I'll finally have my revenge! Ah! We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard is the moment the victim was attacked. I knew it was you. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. We assumed those words were the words of the killer.
And where's the problem in that? Seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me.
Heh,
I'm afraid not, Chairman Winner. For you see, if the victim was always wearing gloves as you just testified, then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer!
Objection.
You speak as if gloves can't easily be removed. She could have taken them off during the auction.
That's... But she hadn't! She was still wearing them when I changed places with her! So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered too!
What are you saying? You do know how much trouble you're in, don't you?
I'm not scared of you anymore! I have Grammy on my side now!
Now it's time for you to pay the piper, Winner, you dang devil.
I see. So you're both looking to disappear too. That can be arranged.
Not this time, Excelsius Winner! The only person disappearing will be you!
Objection.
Hey! You can't talk about my dad like that! Who cares if the burn was covered up? Why does that even matter?
Objection.
Oh, it matters. Because it turns out understanding of the burn mark on its head.
What do you mean? What kind of fact the victim's burn mark covered up possibly tell us?
The murderer had one too! Think about it like this, Mr. Winner. The victim was wearing gloves, therefore the burn mark on her hand would not have been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording?
Somebody who, wasn't the victim?
Precisely, which could only mean that the culprit had a prominent burn mark too. Or to put it another way, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Those words were spoken not by the murderer, but by the victim!
No way!
Objection.
Eustace, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a second? Look, Miles, it's nice to see you having fun with your little flights of... Look, Miles, it's nice to see you having fun with your little flights of fancy, but let's get serious. So the murder had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory would either take flight or die depending on your answer here, I'm afraid.
He's not messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was, and fast. I wonder where it could have been. All the auction people were wearing disguises, right? Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet in spite of that, the burn mark was visible from the victim somehow, which means...
Well, shall we? Enlighten us, why don't you? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
I do, Chairman. Unfortunately for you, you made one crucial oversight.
Take that.
Here's my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction. Or rather, the outfit you were wearing, Chairman Winner.
And what exactly is that supposed to tell us?
Objection.
A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin. But according to Nurse Needler's testimony, the auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. And not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on the part. Was a tattoo, but was it a tattoo, or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one?
A burn mark? On the face?
Objection.
Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But I forgot to inform you that none of the committee members have such a bird. Myself included, of course.
But Dad, I mean...
Eustace, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later.
Well, you may be an annoyance most of the time, Mr. Winner. But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good as an indicator of the truth as I could have hoped for. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost concerning another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to. What's the matter with Mr. Winter? I think he might be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But in this case, it seems to have gone there all too quickly. To think Mugen's lesson to Ryo was the one good thing he taught him. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer. He's sad because he knows the truth? So, it's better to not know the truth at all? No, Kay. It's what we came here for. It doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth. You yourself told me that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence. I want to know too, the truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me? I very much intend to. You just don't know when to give up, do you? Where is this burn then? Perhaps you can point it out to me? But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found. Just like your evidence that I'm the killer.
Yeah, hunt for contradictions all you like. You won't find any. Because he's my dad, a winner through and through.
I understand, Mr. Winner. I completely understand why you don't want to believe it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live.
Dad! What do I do?
I just don't understand it. How could I have raised such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Eustace, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwit!
But I try all the time, Dad! All I do is try! I went to the school you wanted me to go to! I aced every test! Look at my jacket! They only give these to the valedictorian! I did everything you told me to! I worked like crazy and graduated at the top of my class! I tried to be just like you! Winning as many trophies as I could!
Objection!
You really are just a simpering simpleton, aren't you? Those tests you aced, I had the schools give you perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won, the judges were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all. You're no son of mine! Even you must see that. Father! Oh, gone. My own son. They all leave in the end. Oh, I mean, boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Even when he was trying, he was failing, and he did it all for me. Then he should have tried harder. You're a disgrace! You don't deserve to be a father! And you certainly don't deserve to be chairman of this committee! Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Mr. Winter. Explain yourself, Chairman Winter. Just what do you think your son is to treat him in such a way? An utterly useless pawn. Yes, that sounds about right. But you're one to talk, Verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Eustace too.
I cannot deny it, however. I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be a naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some ways, he tries harder than anybody. That's what I have witnessed during my time with him. Yet you would call him useless? How could you?
Objection.
Oh, because he is Verity, my girl. He is utterly incapable of doing anything I ask of him.
Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment unto Excelsius Winner.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so. If the ringleader had a visible burn mark on their face that night, it would follow that Chairman Winner is currently hiding that mark somehow. How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last. Now then, your answer, please. Which piece of evidence will help us reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? I have to get water, because I have to do a scream next.
Whoop! I see chat message.
Make sure when to shut. Good idea. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you, Astral. Oh my god. Yeah. Warren Sam. Don't worry. Don't worry. I already knocked on his door. Okay, fellas. Here we go. Let's do it. For once in our life. Is that missing this statement?
Take that!
Recall Nurse Needless' testimony, if you will. There is one thing Recall Nurse Needless' testimony, if you will. There is one thing we never quite resolved. The second wig. The one that wasn't used.
I seem to remember it being wavy.
What are you two talking about? Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim. And what do they have to do with the burn mark? What she found were two wigs. One was intended to make her look like the victim. But what was the other one for? I don't suppose it was meant to be a spare. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman's Winner current appearance to that of the ringleader as it was described to us. Stop it! Stop staring at me! One very prominent difference presents itself. His face, or rather, what's around it. You mean it wasn't a wig after all? Indeed, not a wig intended to go on top of the head in any case. It was a fake beard along, wasn't it, Excelsius Winner? Ah! This? Why, this is all my own, dear boy. We got him. He's panicking. How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise.
Objection!
We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth. And how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in light of his realization. Yet you still feared he might expose you. So rather than take that risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that your beard hides a prominent burn mark. Chairman Winner, I insist you remove your beard this instant!
There it is! That's a burn mark! Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing evil to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks. No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Excelsius winner, in the name of goddess, I hereby pronounce my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Miss Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty. Let's go! It's over! Yes! 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 April 6, 9:44 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber. Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you. There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor. No, as a friend. It was the least I could do. Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice. I've learned that Chairman Winner has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auctioneer continues. However, we are talking about Chairman Winner here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. In addition, there's one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan. What? How could that be? Excuse me. He claims that he and Miss Needler found this letter on Miss Ringer's person, and that they found a second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From the contents, the letters seem to be ones of correspondence. So it led to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other. That's quite the conclusion to jump to. As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victims in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket. Sounds to me like he's just trying to make excuses for himself. Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of last-ditch ploy on his part. But it matters not. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He won't escape justice. And with that, one of the duties which I have been entrusted with, it's complete, at long last. Hold up, Peyton! Hold up! 1 second. Judge Gavelle, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman Winner came to murder Miss Ringer? There's more there, isn't there? Yes, and I suppose you've earned the right to the whole truth. Miss Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auctions, he disappeared. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and the personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first. I see. So that's the story behind this case. While the goddess does not condone acts of wanton vengeance, Miss Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman Winner's crimes at last. So that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Excelsius Winner and the corruption at the heart of the committee. Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Winner? I'm afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him. Do you have any idea why? Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me most. Oh, I really feel bad for him. Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now. No matter how hard it might be, he'll need to learn to accept it. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life. Trust me. A father's influence isn't easily erased.
But in time, he can hopefully try and change his ways. You're right.
Are you okay, Kay? How's that head feeling? I'm fine. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Kay. You were my patient. I had a responsibility to you, and instead
Ow! Dang rat! We ain't just in the business of fixing bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins.
You're right, Grammy. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like with a little more time, maybe I'll be able to remember some more. Please forgive me, but I better be on my way. We are still in the process of finding her replacement.
Miss Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Lagarde?
And of course, until we find Eustace, there is nobody to act as the prosecution either. In any case, I must take my leave. Wait, please! What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's going to happen to it now? With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So the answer to your question, it's complicated. It's all up to the goddess now. But
don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making.
And I assume you do not mean to change your mind?
Of course not. I chose the path of truth, and I chose it willingly.
With Chairman Winter out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I'd be more than happy to facilitate such a decision.
It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore.
I see. It seems we're destined to continue on different paths then.
Heh. Well, I trust you'll keep my badge safe until they converge again.
With all I have. In the meantime, I have here a token of the goddess's mercy. You may return this notebook to its rightful owner.
Kay's promise notebook!
It seems it was due to be sold in the auction, and with the name Kay written on its cover, Chairman Winter made the connection immediately and knew who it belonged to. It was the same name as the one in the letters, after all.
The letters he claimed to know nothing about? I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them?
Yes. He also had something else to say. Apparently, he thought Miss Faraday was after her notebook and that Miss Ringer was after his life, and that their respective goals are what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together.
Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was all just happenstance. If Kay had known about the defense attorney, who is also a member of the committee, there's no way she would have told me. That just isn't like her.
Ha! Your belief in her is touching. While the notebook did become part of Chairman Winter's cover-up scheme, it's also a treasured possession of Miss Faraday's, which is why I would like for her to have it back, as I'm sure would the goddess.
Thank you.
I pray that it helps her recover her lost memories. Is everything all right?
Judge Gavelle wanted me to return something important to you.
Isn't that... Always greet people with a smile. Even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Daddy! I wrote them all down, Daddy! Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you! Oh wait! I forgot to write one down. The most important promise of all. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. I remembered it, just like how you said it, and now I'll never forget it.
always try your hardest to learn about things, even ones you don't understand.
That's right! I have to try!
I'm Kay Faraday, the great thief who'll do anything to steal the truth, second Yatagarasu, and assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Kay, is that really you? Can't say I'm not a little bit embarrassed, but I'm back, and I couldn't have done without you, Mr. Edgeworth. You never stopped helping me, even when I was totally lost and couldn't remember anything. Thank goodness. You certainly seem to be back. Kay, so this is the Ryu, huh? Welcome back. It's good to know you're better. I can sleep easy now.
Now that you found it, don't you dare go losing that memory of yours again, young lady. You hear?
Miss Needler, Dr. Hertz, thanks a lot for looking after me.
And if you really aren't better, how about you get out of them danged hospital turds?
Oh yeah, I washed all your clothes for you. Here. I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe. He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics. And did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note? I didn't ask. Anyway, never mind that now. Put them on, Kay. I want to see. Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them. Oh, it's probably fine. She may have taken a big old bump to the head, but she wasn't really that much hurt otherwise. Why does she have a bandage over her eye then? But then, why all the bandages in the first place? Prevention is better than a cure. A stitch in time saves 9. This is a few of my mottos.
What? What kind of doctor are you?
Both of which sound like painfully annoying practices for your patients. Okay, Kay, transformation time. Somebody get the Sailor Moon music. Anyways. Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove, of course. That smile suits you better too, as it always did. Thanks to you too, Miss Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did. I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see you're back to your old self too. Speaking of Gummy, where is he? Who knows? Perhaps the well of devotion ran dry when a certain someone threw away his badge. Detective Gumshoe. Anyway, I have to be going, and I'll be taking those two with me. Wait! What's going to happen to them? Acting as an accomplice in a murder and forging an autopsy report 18 years ago. Their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. But the fact Excelsis went to coerce them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account. Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grammy and me are together, we'll be alright. Take care, Kay Faraday. Until we meet again. So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions. Sure, ask away! What happened the day you lost your memory? What were you doing? Let's see, somebody asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was. So there I was, just looking up at the moon when somebody in a red raincoat started walking toward me. They must have drugged me somehow, because that's when I fell unconscious. What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gourd Lake looking up at the moon. Anyway, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a daze and stumbling around up there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised, I stumbled backward. And then I was falling, and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat, who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Think about that, it's making my head hurt. Just breathe, Kay. You only just got your memory back. You're still confused. I imagine the root cause of your confusion is you fell down the hatch. Oh wait, 2 different locations. I imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake 1 minute and at the top of the big building the next. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended your memories of the two together. Huh? But those two are totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily. I believe these things on the roof may have made you more likely to be confused. We present, then, the cherry tree or the concession stand. I'll do the stand.
Take that!
There are two key similarities between the scene down by Gourd Lake and here on top of the big building. Cherry blossoms and food stands.
Wait, you're right!
Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in midair. They were walking toward you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, the same sight played out over the viewing platform instead.
No way! Who steals a great thief's memories, huh? That's just cheating!
Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kay in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Do you hear that?
It sounds like it's coming from up in the storeroom. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, hooey, I smell another scoop in the oven. You're still here?
April 6, 9:53 a.m., 51st floor, storeroom.
It's coming from this little gadget here, Mr. Edgeworth.
This transceiver. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
It's still going.
But I'm not good with technology.
Come on, you have to pick it up. Fine, I'll do it. Hey, this is Edgeworth.
Kay, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me. Mr. Edgeworth, Good Sir Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice! Shelley the Killer! Congratulations on another case solved. Yet I can't truly say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now, there was a mastermind at work orchestrating the entire incident. How do you even know about this case? That's not what's important right now, good sir. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering myself if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain this piece of evidence that proves so damning to Kay's case?
No way! An evil mastermind? But who?
Who indeed? Perhaps you could share your thoughts. What is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement? The letter! Oh wait. Yeah, the letter. No, the victim's letter.
Take that!
The letter Kay supposedly wrote to the victim.
Yeah, I don't remember writing that.
So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know. And how do we know it wasn't you? Now, why would I do a thing like that? I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you've had your badge revoked, that is no longer an option. So how will it all end? I, for one, will be watching from the sidelines with most interest. He even knows about my badge? Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Now, I bid you farewell, good Sir Edgeworth.
What the heck did it mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? And why is he so interested in us anyway? Everything's just one giant ball of mysteries.
It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. However this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth.
And with that, case 4, a Turnabout Forsaken comes to a close. And man, I fucking love this case, dude. I'm just gonna come on and say it. I fucking love this case, man. Easily one of the most engaging stories Ace Attorney has ever written. Honestly, one of the best story arcs Capcom has ever written. Let me start off by saying one thing. God damn it, Verity. You had me. You had me. They built so well played that. Verity coming around and actually being the unsung hero of this case. Also, it recontextualizes a lot of her earlier actions. She wasn't just being nosy and being a bitch. Remember, her whole goal was to expose the corruption in the committee. And what would be the best way to do that? By making an enemy out of the most honest prosecutor. The most honest prosecutor who had unparalleled skill, stood the best chance. Verity pit them against each other so that the truth could finally come out. And she did it so convincingly. That's why she sided with the killers, to try and get, more answers out of them, to lure them into a false sense of security. But also, think about it this way. Now suddenly, her actions with Eustace, now that we've seen his father, who constantly berates him, who constantly calls him names, who quite literally disowned him in that courtroom. Oh my God. Verity was trying to fill the hole in his heart. She was praising him because she knew how terrible of a father Excelsius was. Like, dude, it's crazy how believable that is now. Now that we know the context, it's crazy how believable that is. And honestly, now it just paints Eustace in even more tragic light. And we see Eustace. He's the icon for the last case in the game and the final case of the duology. But yeah, dude, what a turnaround. But more importantly, Kay, oh my gosh, dude. I'm so glad she's okay. Like, every time I get to the end of this case, and when Kay finally gets back her memories, I didn't cry this time. Obviously, I didn't cry because this is the 4th time I've played this case. The 4th time. So I knew it's coming, but bro, on my first time, I fucking cracked. I just was so goddamn relieved Kay was okay. And like, damn, it's just bad. Well done, Capcom. Well done. Now release Ace Attorney 7, damn it! It's been over a decade since Spirit of Justice! Okay. But anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!